Hello, may peace and blessings be with you. Thank you for being here with me live. I am so excited that I am here with one of my awesome mentors who has helped me overcome a lot of my limiting beliefs. He has given me confidence. He has brought so many opportunities to me and has always been there for me so that I could run things by him and ask for advice. With great pleasure, I introduce Sylvester Johnson to you.
Good morning. Good morning, Timmy. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good.
So, Sylvester is joining us from the University of Delaware. He is the director of custodial and university services there. And Sylvester has been with the university for a very long time. He has over 30 years of leadership experience. And what I love about Sylvester is how much he's interested in empowering others. He is the kind of leader who is leading by example. So many times I was not sure how to approach a situation, and I felt very comfortable going to him as my mentor and asking him for his advice and going with that. So, Sylvester, real quick, I want to share the story about how we met. So, I started working at the University of Delaware in 2015, I believe. And my manager, Mike Wooden, took me around, gave me a building tour. We were in the general services building. I was in the finance and administration department. I was working as an accountant there. And he introduced me to all of the leaders in the area and everybody else who was there, their staff members as well. And I met Sylvester there for the first time. And within a week, I saw him in the hallway or in our office multiple times. And he is such a dynamic leader. He is so confident. And I was so impressed by that. So, very quickly, I started to ask if they had a formal mentoring program. And I found out that we didn't really have one. So I requested if I could ask Sylvester to be my mentor because I wanted to be just like him. I wanted to be able to just go up to people and, just interact with them. And I did not feel comfortable at all doing that. So I thought working with Sylvester, that is what I will get. Let me tell you, working with Sylvester, I've gotten so much more. I've definitely gotten confidence, but I've gotten so much more than that. He's really challenged me in areas where it really helped grow me as a professional and as a human being. And I'm very, very grateful for that. So, Sylvester, let's talk about your first impressions of me.
When I met you, but it's just like when I meet anyone, especially a new employee here at the university, I try to make them feel comfortable and make them feel like this is a good place to work, because even though it's not my title, but I always feel like I'm an ambassador for the University of Delaware. So it's important for me to make people feel comfortable. And you were just nice and quiet. And when you approached me, it really threw me back, because I'm used to maybe people in my own field asking me to mentor them or have meetings with them and those kind of things. So I was like, well, yes, and it was an honor for me to do that to a person, to anyone, but someone in finance that I really don't know too much about that field, So I was excited about that, and that helps me to. And I always call it like it sharpens my tool. And I like the term iron sharpens iron, because by me being a mentor to you, it helps me. It's not, like I always used to tell you, it's a two-way street. It's not just you coming in here and me saying blah, 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 blah. It's everything that entails me helping you to get to where you want to be. And it also helps me to get ideas. Sometimes I would have things that for you and I to talk about, and you and I would start talking, I would never get to it, because that's what it should be about, reality. Like, I'll give an example. When you said you, like, with shaking hands. Remember, we did the test. We were in my office with the door closed, and you said, Sylvester, it's uncomfortable for me, and da 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 da. I said, okay, let's do it right now. We left out of my office, and I asked my admins who were sitting outside, and we did a test right away. Because a lot of times things happen impromptu. A lot of times we want to plan things. Oh, we just want to plan it and work. I said, no, let's go. That's why I took you around with me and showed you the campus and showed you some of the things that we did and run into. And showed you how I interact with people to make you feel a little bit more comfortable with that. And I think you've done a spectacular job, because one of the things where you were diligent about it. Everybody wants to change, but sometimes they don't want to change. They want to change where they're comfortable, versus sometimes change is uncomfortable. So, and I think that's very important. I think that's something that you really embraced.
Thank you, Sylvester. Sylvester, I just remember like one of the things in your very first impressions, I remember you coming into our office and you would just so comfortably interact with everybody in our office. And before you're leaving, you would like, walk by my office and other people's offices and you say, I am a big deal. And I love that. And I was like, he is so confident. He tells people he's a big deal because he is a big deal. So, that was something that really inspired me. And I was like, I want to be able to tell people, not that I think I'm a big deal, but,
Right.
I want to feel comfortable. Like I want to feel confident in myself where, you know,
that's something that it just happens. And because, people don't think, and I don't think of myself that way, but that's how I want to make you feel comfortable. Like, every time I meet somebody new, I always tell them I'm the most important person you're going to meet. I don't care who else works here at the university. I'm the most important person. Yeah. So it gives them a chance to, oh, okay, he's a regular person. And it opens me up for them to be able to come and talk to me, because believe it or not, so many people that I can go and talk to, and they can come and talk to me as well. Like I said, it's always a two-way street. And like days you may have a day where it's like, oh, this is a rough day today. Somebody will come in your office and they want to chat. They want to talk about things. So one of my things is that I want to be a catalyst for change in someone's life. I always want to be that, whether it's a small thing, whether it's a large thing, whether it's personal, professional, whatever I can do to help someone. It goes miles with me. That makes my day. That gives me a rush. Like if I can help, because sometimes I would, when I was talking to you, I would tell you something and I'd see the light bulb going, like an aha moment. Like we were talking that one time about, you thought it was offensive to ask somebody their name again after they told you their name. And we went over a whole, and like I said, I forget people's names. I say, hey man, what's your name again? It's okay. I tell you, that's more respect than me getting their name wrong or me not saying their name. I'd rather say the name. Oh, hi, how you doing, sir? Versus saying, hey Dave, how you doing today? Or hey Mary, how are you doing today? When you remember people's name, it goes miles. I remember the staff told me that. They said, Sylvester, you knew everybody's names in like 2 weeks. But what I was doing, they didn't know. I was looking at their names on their shirts real quick. And I would just say their names, and that would help me remember. So when I would see them, I would always say hello to them and say their name, because people really appreciate that. And never get too big for your yourself. And what I mean by that, I could be walking with my boss, president of university, anybody. If I see some of my staff or someone I know, I will always speak to them, because what people go through throughout the day, it doesn't make you feel good if you do not speak to them and acknowledge them. That goes miles with people. And I think that's very important. So you don't come in and say, I come into your office area and I don't acknowledge everyone. Hey, how you doing? How's everybody going? Wherever I go, I try to just say hello. It's okay to say hello. You never know, you may make someone's day.
Yeah. Sylvester, that was so incredible that I watched you firsthand being in the spaces of your people, right? Like you would take me to different, we went to the Christiana Towers and a few other buildings to look at the floors and, the work that your staff was doing, and how humble you are when you're speaking with them, right? You never, even though, we're joking, you say that I'm a big deal, but when you're interacting with other people, it never comes across as, you say I'm a big deal. You're really, very down to earth, so humble, and you put yourself in their shoes, in their spot, and you actually help them. You ask them questions and you help them to be better at what they're doing. So that's
one of the things that taught me that. I was a new manager, so I was probably in my early 20s, and I worked at Cooper Hospital in Camden, New Jersey. And I was in charge of the second shift. So I was probably 22 and I had like 30 people that reported to me. Everyone on my staff was older than me, but I was learning. So I had some third shift guys, and I used to wear a suit to work, suit and tie to work every day. And I knew the doctors and everybody. But at night, when I worked third shift, I wore work clothes. And I saw how the staff was treated. And the doctors treated me that way because they didn't know it was me because I didn't have my suit on. So it humbled me for that profession. It's like, I think I might have told you before, when I go like to hotels or if I'm at the mall, I always speak to the people that clean. And they're like shocked because people don't speak to them. They don't acknowledge them. They're just a thing. But everybody's profession, like my staff, I always tell the people, your most important customer is your staff. If you don't take care of your staff, they won't take care of the customers. You have to humble yourself and you have to speak to them so they can react, they can react to you. They don't feel like, oh, here comes the boss. No, here comes Sylvester. Here comes Sylvester. That's what I want. That's what I look forward to.
Your people love you. So here's one of our viewers is saying, I love this, embracing I'm a big deal, feeling comfortable in my confidence. I want this too. So fantastic. So Sylvester, I want to just switch gears a little bit and talk about limiting beliefs, right? So I know one of the limiting beliefs that I experienced for a very long time was a lack of confidence, right? So I was telling myself that my voice is not needed, right? If I'm about to share something, I would say, who's asking for it, right? So I would always wait for an invitation to speak or to share my ideas or anything like that. And literally even just going up to people to start a conversation, I was not confident in doing that. So can you just speak to that? Because I feel like a lot of women and men struggle with this.
And I think it's just, if you know the subject matter, if you know what you're getting ready to discuss, if you know you want to, because a lot of times people think, oh, I have to be like this person, or I have to be like, no, you have to be your valuable self. You have to be who you are. Don't change who you are for anybody, but you can add little things to your character so you can go up and approach people, because it's intimidating. And I understand that it is intimidating to talk to some people. Oh, you got to talk to a vice president. You treat them like they're anybody else. So that's times sometimes we put titles on people, or people you think they're up. No, you believe it or not, I'm telling you, if you go and just address them, hello, how you doing? How are you doing today? Tell me good. Oh, that's a question. Just like I tell my managers, like a lot of times when people do things via email, it's a difference versus you going to visit the person and seeing them face to face. All right, now we talk face to face. What's really going on? What's the real problem versus you shoot emails back and forth? It's important to just go and talk. Let's have a discussion. Let's humble ourselves and find out what's going on, because maybe I'm missing something you're saying, or vice versa. So I think it's important to have the confidence, just go and talk. Just go and talk. Just it's usually not bigger than what we think it is.
Yeah. And you actually put me to the test, right? You challenged me. You're like, let me show you how it's done. And you would just take me to people's offices and you're like, you see, no big deal. You can just go talk to this human being. It's perfectly okay.
And that was one of my things, because things are written in books and articles, but to do, you have to have the to do thing. Like, I want to do this, but how do I do this? Okay, well, come on, let's go right now. I'm not going to write it down and send you an agenda. We're going to do it next week or not. No, we're going to do this right now. While it's just like you're practicing for a play.
Yep.
You could have all the practice down, but now the audience is there. What if somebody makes a mistake? What if a light falls? You still have to continue. So that's why I wanted to put you in the spot where, okay, this is what's happening. This is what's normal. So I want to find out where, because I mentor different people, a lot of different people, not a lot, but I mentor different people who have different challenges and different strengths and everything. So I want to find areas where they're not as confident, areas they want to grow. Let's work on that. And sometimes it helps me, because my dad always says that everyone has lumps in their clay. Everybody has something, so you got to pull that something out and just give it a little bit. I'm not saying change your character, but everybody has something.
Yep, for sure. Okay, we have Judy David with us on YouTube, and she's saying, be the best version of yourself.
Absolutely.
And one of the best things about Sylvester, if he sees people from work, no matter their role, he introduces them as someone he works with. I love that. Yep.
Because that's one of the things. And Judy's she's associate director in the department, And one of the things that when we have meetings, people say, "Oh, I'm the director of this," or "I'm the chief of this." Judy and I will say we work for custodial services because it's not a big title thing, because people, "Oh, he's a director. He can't talk to this person, or he can't talk." I want to talk to everyone. Like I always say, it starts with me on up to the staff. It's not top to bottom, it's bottom up. And you have to continue to live like that. You have to continue to operate like that to be successful. Is because it's a challenge. Because when you deal with people, it's not a book. Like I always say, when you're in leadership, any kind of business where you interact with people, one of the things they don't teach us is the social part of it. They don't teach you how to listen to people's personal issues and how you address things. Sometimes people just want you to listen. They don't want advice. They just want a sounding board. I have that with people just want to come in my office, they'll close the door and they will just go. And I can tell, that's one of the gifts that I have. I can tell, I can read it like, okay, they just want me to listen today. They don't want to hear what I have to say. It's just like with my children, same thing. Some days they just want to call, "Dad, such and such, such and such, such and such." I just know they just want me to hear it. They don't want me to say anything. They don't want my opinion. They just want Dad to hear it, to get it off their chest.
Yep. The leadership at the University of Delaware, especially in facilities, it is so incredible, so amazing. I just feel so blessed that I got to be there and work with all of them. It's been such a blessing. And I love that you have such an open door policy, right? To come into your office, like, the door's always open, have a seat and let's chat. That's fantastic. Okay. So Sylvester, moving on. Next thing I want to talk about is another limiting belief is this one is true for women, especially having a critical inner voice. How can we combat that? How can we overcome that?
And what do you mean by critical inner voice? Can you
telling
elaborate
yourself
on that
we're not good enough, telling ourselves, not sharing our voice, not letting ourselves be seen.
Yes.
Not feeling we are an expert in any area or anything like that.
And I think that comes with practicing your confidence. That comes with, you have to speak up, even though, sometimes you're like, "Oh, I don't want to say anything. Oh, I don't want to say the wrong thing." You have to say it. Sometimes people will say, "This might be a stupid question, but, sometimes you don't want to just come out and say it, or you don't understand." Like, even with me, like sometimes I was in a meeting the other day and they were using acronyms about something. I was in a director's meeting and I was like, "Okay, tell me, what does that mean? Because I don't know." A lot of times we just have to say it. We just have to listen to our inner voice and come out with it and take notes, whatever it takes for you to get more confidence. If you have questions about anything, it's okay to ask questions. It's okay. I love questions because that's how you that's how you learn, that's how you grow. But if you have something inside of you, because one of the things, Judy, who made a comment, she's very strong. She's a women's advocate. So she teaches me a lot of things, what not to say, what to say, what's okay, what's not okay. And I'm humble enough to listen and adhere to it. So you can't, because you can't know everything. So you can't say this to women, you can't say that, you got to address it this way. And that's how you learn. But if I never stepped out to say certain things, I wouldn't know. Or it may come out at the wrong time. It may come out offensive at the wrong time, and you don't want to do that. So my thing with the inner part is just share it, and be respectful. Like one of the things Judy always would tell me, be respectful of women when you're in meetings, because a lot of times men cut them off. So now I'm watching this happen. And it's a reality, so a lot of times if I'm interacting, or if a female, she always tell me, don't say female. If a lady or a woman says, something and we talk at the same time, I always let the lady go first. So that's important. But share it, bring it out. Don't hold it in, because that's not helping anyone. And a lot of times it's great ideas.
And Sylvester, one of the things I've learned from you is that just so many times, like, we get stuck in, is it going to come out right in that moment in our heads? And you say, turn it into a question, right? Ask a question. So you're curious. You're not judgmental. You're just curious, about the topic. And then also I see that your energy reaches people way before your words connect with them or anything like that, right? So as long as they see that you're coming from a place of compassion and you're really curious, even if the words are wrong, I think that's okay.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you want to be, when you come into a room, I always want to come into a room like, I want them to know that Sylvester's here. And that's just me. That doesn't work for everybody. And like, I have I can joke with certain people, but I don't joke with everybody the same way. And a lot of times people that don't do that or don't know how to do that, they get in trouble like that. And you can't say certain things. You can't say certain jokes or off color things or like that. You have to be very careful with how you do it. So everybody doesn't like my approach. So the people that because I can feel it. So I address them, hey, how you doing? Good to see you today. I may joke with the next person, but everybody will get a greeting. Everybody will get a greeting, and you just have to share it, and you have to learn the room. Like always, I'm a watcher. Like I watch people all the time, and I watch how they interact. I watch how they talk to other people. I watch how they move around. That helps me to know, okay, this is what I'm dealing with, good or bad or indifferent. But you still have to deal with them as people because everybody's different. Everybody has those lumps that my dad always say.
You have very high emotional intelligence and you are really good about reading people. So it's like really incredible. Okay, one of our friends on Facebook is saying, thank you for being a strong ally for women, Sylvester, for your willingness to learn about us ladies.
Yes, because and that's a thank you for that. And it's important because everybody's important. Everybody's voice is important. Everybody has something to add. That's one of the things with building a team. If you're going to build a team, you can't build a team with just this person or these two people and you have 20 managers. No, we all have to have some say in this. Even though you may not agree, you may not want to go with the team. Let's get a team aspect on here. Like I was talking to someone this morning about some issues, and a lot of times people don't want to be confrontational, but confrontational is not always a bad thing. Confrontational is like, hey Timmy, let's discuss this thing because how you did it, we didn't used to do it this way. So explain to me why you did it this way, because if you did it this way, it might have been easier versus I'm going to go complain to Felice outside my office. Timmy's not doing this and this. That's not helping. Confrontational is not bad. Confrontational is a good thing, but it's how you address people. It's how you address everybody. Don't no. Let's discuss it as humans, as adults, and let's try to work through this because maybe it's something I'm not seeing. A lot of times my staff has came to me and said, "Oh, Sylvester, the reason why we do this," or Judy may say, "The reason why we're doing this because I'm like, why are we doing this? This doesn't make any sense to me." Oh, we're doing this because boom, 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 boom. Oh, okay, that makes sense to me. Let's go for it.
Sylvester, I hope that people are taking note of this because you beautifully converted that into a question and you're curious. You're not judgmental, right? In the example you just gave. And that is so beautiful. I feel like we need more of that. We just sometimes are so blunt about, what we're thinking. We just
because a lot of times people always want to, you have people that their answer is the answer. But sometimes there's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different ways to get to Friday. You still gonna have Thursday, but it's a lot of different ways to get there. As long as we get there at the same time, that's one of the things. Like the managers may want the staff to do things a certain way, and the staff may want to do it a certain way. And I would always tell the managers, they're doing the work. Long as they're there by Friday, the goal is done, and they're working safe. I'm good. Let them. You have to let the staff win because they're doing the work. They're on the front lines. That a lot of times the dictatorship, the management leading like we used to do in the 80s and 90s and do it my way and this is the only way. No, that's not going to make you successful these days. There's too much information out there. Too much knowledge out there for people to learn. You could Google anything and get, anything is out there. So you have to, but we're always in a people business. When you deal with people, you have to learn people. We're in the people business. Unless you work behind a computer and numbers all day, but you still have to deal with people. We're in the people business.
Yep. Sylvester, I just want to remind our viewers that if they have questions or comments, they can share in the comments wherever place you're watching from, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. Please share your comments and your questions with us. We have Earl Richard saying, Sylvester is one of the most down-to-earth and humble person I've known since high school and is able to break the ice in any situation.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep. That's my guy. Him and I have been friends for since I was about 15, 16 till this day.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Love that. Sylvester, let's talk about another limiting belief that women have. This is a serious one. I feel like I myself have suffered from it for a very long time, but I call myself a recovering perfectionist. So the topic is perfectionism. What advice can you share with us about that?
There's nothing wrong with perfectionism. We all strive to be perfectionists. We all do. Most times we don't get there, but there's nothing wrong with that. But you can't let it consume you, where if it don't go your way, you mess up the whole project. Strive for it. Work towards it. But understand that we may not get there, but I'm striving for it. Like I'm striving to be number one. Like I always want my department to be the best department on campus. And I don't even say our. I want our department to be the best department on campus all the time. No matter what the situation is, I want us to be the best. Sometimes we fall short. Sometimes we don't do things the right way, but that doesn't take away my want and desire for perfection. That doesn't take away my want and desire for us to be the best every day. So I think that's very important, that you want to, and never take that away as a goal, because that keeps you hungry. That keeps you wanting to, like I gave the analogy one time when I was in Buffalo. We used to always play King of the Mountain. So you have the snow, and then you're fighting. Everybody's fighting to get to the top. But once you get to the top, you get kind of lax. But it's always people fighting to get up there. They're the hungry ones. They're striving to get to the top. But it's only going to be one person at the top. So then you get knocked down. So now you're hungry again. So, and you're striving for perfection. It's okay to strive for perfection.
But the way you're describing it, you're actually converting into such a healthy thing, right? Because it helps you set a goal that makes you energized and you're striving for it, but not letting it stop you. Because I think where perfectionism becomes a problem is that we're not able to get to the next step, is because we are so busy in trying to perfect the stuff that we're on. And I think women struggle with that quite a bit.
Exactly. And if you don't make it, what, you gonna quit? You got to keep trying. I've been trying to lose weight for 5 or 10 years. I go to the gym every day. I don't look any different. You know what I mean? I'm striving. It's peaks and valleys to everything, but keep striving. Don't give up. Don't give up your dream of being, because it's hard to be perfect in anything. It's hard to be perfect. What they put out when they put out disinfectants, 99.9%. 99.9%. That's as close as we're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's important.
That's a really good example. Okay, we have a few questions coming in. My friend Shahida is asking, how do you break the rock hard ice?
I think it depends on what situation you're in. I think one of the things is to come in and say, especially if you make eye contact with people and somebody looks at you and, oh, hello, how are you doing? It breaks the ice. A lot of times people will look at you and I'll look back like, we're not speaking today, and you come in and you just be yourself. Like I said, always be who you are. Be your, I have a sign in my office, be yourself, because everyone else is taken. So you have to be yourself. Like when you come into a room and somebody makes eye contact, it's okay to say hello. Hi, how you doing? It's good to see you. And you sit there. That's how you break the ice with people, because they don't know you. You don't know them. But sometimes it shocks people when you say hello, like, oh, like somebody will stare at me and I'm like, hello, how you doing? Oh, hi. And you keep moving. That helps break the ice, even especially in the workplace, because you see people a lot. Like I see people a lot throughout the building. There's a lot of new people in this building. And, I hear people say, hey, Sylvester, how you doing? I'm like, who is that? Like, how do they know my name? But I always say, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. And if I forget the name, what's your name again? Oh, yeah, that's right. And that's how you keep going. But to break the rock hard ice, you just have to be yourself and say hello. It's okay to say hello. A lot of times we shy away from that. But I wonder why people don't speak enough. Sometimes that bothers me. Like, why are you staring at me? You're not going to say anything?
Yeah. Sylvester, I'm so glad that you mentioned asking people for their name again, right? If you forget, because I think that was one of my issues for a long time. If I don't remember a person's name, I was having difficulty starting a conversation with them. So you taught me, just going up to them and saying, what was your name again? And just even letting them know that you may have forgotten, or, it was a long time ago or whatever. Like, being honest and open about it, and no big deal. Chances are they probably forgot my name too. So
yeah, because a way you can approach that is say, hey, hello, how you doing? I'm Timmy. What is your name again? Boom. So it helps them. A lot of times it helps them as well. Like you said, they probably forgot your name as well.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay, we have another question from a Facebook friend. How do you soften up someone who might have negative expectations about you or confront a challenging situation?
Because that happens a lot. And a lot of times I'll know who the people are that are negative. And what I've been stressing in this is be yourself. And one of the good things about that is that they're negative already. So you prepare yourself for the negativity, but go in with your facts, go in and don't change because of how they're negative. Because you have people that'll say, you'll tell somebody they're just negative Nancy. Oh, it's sunny out today. Yeah, but it's going to rain tomorrow. Why can't we enjoy the sun today? Why can't we enjoy the sun? So they're going to get negative. Like, I have staff that's negative. There's nothing we could do. You give them something. Oh, you should have gave me this. You don't take it. Oh, you should have. Some people are just going to be like that, and you never change you for them because they'll bring you down. You don't want them to bring you down to a negative situation because it's easy. Like, what's the news? The news is all negative. That sells. They don't show much positive stuff. Negativity, and it brings you down. It's so easy to complain and murmur versus saying, oh, your hair looks nice today. Oh, that's a nice outfit. Oh, you look terrible. What's wrong with you today? You know what I mean? So you always want to approach that with positivity all the time, no matter what, because they may be negative forever. Some people that's just them. It could be home life. It could be just who they are. And some things we're not going to change in people. But all you know is that, hey, I need to get my point across. I want to get this business taken care of, whatever it is. And I have to approach it that way.
Mm-hmm. I love it. We were just talking about this last night in a Quran studies group for women, and somebody shared a situation like that, and we were saying that it gives you more opportunities to collect blessings and rewards. When someone's being not nice to you and being challenging, you're actually presented with an opportunity to earn even more reward because you're being extra nice. So
yes, that is so true. That is so true.
Okay, we have Judy David saying, it is in the pursuit of perfection that we achieve excellence.
That's what I'm saying. So you pursuing perfection, and you still, like I said, it's 99.9%. Who wouldn't take that? Who wouldn't take 99.9%? That is so correct. Like, and her and I have failed a lot of times, but we never stop trying. We never stop trying because everything's evolving, like management, leadership, all that's evolving with everything we do. So you can't stay stagnant. So a lot of times we'll make mistakes along the way. Mm-hmm. She doesn't necessarily like it, but I say once is a mistake, twice is a decision. We can't make that the mistake again, but we're going to try something else.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Sylvester, let's do a fun round of rapid fire questions. Are you ready? Yes. I wrote down my questions this morning. I'm excited.
Let me.
Sylvester's like, I don't know what's going to come out of.
And look, somebody brought me this one day too.
There you go. I'm kind of a big deal. Love that.
Somebody brought me that as a gift. All right, rapid fire. Let's get it.
Okay. Favorite vacation?
Spot or Jamaica?
Rapid fire.
Jamaica.
Okay. Favorite dessert?
Carrot cake.
Okay. Something that may not annoy others but annoys you.
tops off of stuff, like anything that has the top off, like a soda bottle, water bottle. I don't like the tops off. If somebody's not drinking it, don't sit the top off. I don't like the tops off of anything.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Okay. Favorite quote?
If a person shows you how they are, believe them. That's from Maya Angelou.
Love it. How do you, sorry, not how. Who do you text the most?
My daughter, because she'd rather text 100 times than to call me so we can talk and be done in 2 minutes.
Who is your hero?
My dad.
So nice. What dish do you cook the best?
Collard greens.
How do you cook them?
You boil them.
Okay. I was
with
going to
turkey
say
necks and fresh garlic and onions and peppers.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say I only really eat them raw, so that's
yeah.
really cool. Okay. Just learned something new. Okay, favorite book?
Favorite book, the Bible. Yeah.
Love that. Okay, best present you have ever received?
The best present I ever received. Wow, because I'm not a big. I like presents, but that's not.
The sign behind you.
Yes. The sign behind me. Let's see. The best. That's a good question. I think. No, someone gave me. Because my mother passed away in 2016, and someone gave me a collage picture with her and other family members, and I think that's the only gift that ever in my life that ever brought me to tears.
Oh wow.
So it's a picture with my mother on it, and I didn't know the person even had a picture of my mother. So that was touching.
Wow, that's incredible. Sylvester, the best compliment you have ever received?
Best compliment I ever received is, and you have said this and others have said this, is that I bring things out in them that they didn't know that they had in them. That is the best compliment, because that is one of the things I strive for. I want people to be better. I want people to be better than I was.
Love that. Sylvester, I want to really thank you for your time, for being here today, sharing your wisdom. I also want to let all the people watching that we have a coaching program coming out. If you want to be the first one to be notified, please go to this link and register, and we will be sure to share the information about that. It's going to be all about overcoming your limiting beliefs, Sylvester's framework, and a coaching program with that. It's going to be so super powerful, because we are no longer letting people stay stuck in that, because they have so much more goodness to offer to the world. So let's get out of our own ways and make it happen. So the link is bit.ly Limitless You in 2023. Sylvester, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
I had a blast, and
Yes.
I will talk to you soon.
All right. You have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.